going to the heart of what...
I call the honourable member Jonathan Young.
Thank you, Mr Chair. I'm very pleased to stand in support of the Fair Trading Soliciting on behalf of Charities Amendment Bill. I would think that I, like many members of our communities, believe that making donations to charities is something of the Kiwi way of life. And in fact, I think the MasterCard survey, which every 2 years they survey nations around the world, looking at the generosity of different societies, ranks New Zealand fairly highly as a generous society. And as we have seen over the last 4 to 5 years with the collapse of finance companies and how that has deterred people from investing in those companies because they've been burnt. And this government over these last 3 years has been working very focused and strongly in bringing transparency and accountability to the financial services industry in order to promote, once again, New Zealanders to be active in that area. Likewise, in this particular area, when it comes to donating to charities, transparency is very important. People have heard at different times the amount of funds that have been used for the support of the third-party fundraiser, not so much the charity, but the third-party fundraiser. The proportion of the donation that has gone to them has, in fact, been the cause for this bill to arise in the House. And many New Zealanders, when they know those figures, feel quite concerned. And to the point where people stop donating to charities because they feel that the money that they are donating is not getting to the cause which they've given for. And so for the sake of bona fide registered charities in our country, this bill will serve you. And for the sake of people who do believe that making donations to community efforts, organisations, NGOs, it could be churches or youth groups, whatever it might be, for those people who donate, knowing that there is accountability, knowing there is transparency, is going to give them the assurance that when they do donate, that their money is going to a good cause. I, like many people in our country, receive phone calls from different organisations, people who want to... No, he's not calling me much lately. Thank you, I am a very busy MP. My opponent across the way is making reference to the busyness I am engaged in New Plymouth. And of course he learned about that last November. And anyway, Mr Chair, in regard to all of this, we do receive solicitation on the telephone for different organisations needing funds. And every single one, I understand, of these organisations that have called me are using third-party fundraisers. And many, many years ago, I gave my phone number to a person, an organisation, and received a phone call, and of course made a donation. And I think from that database, I have probably been called by about 30 other different organisations. And so we have what we have in this country, what some people call an arms race, ALMS, an arms race. And there's a lot of competition in our society for the donated dollar. The donated dollar, the arms race. The donated dollar is highly competed for in this country. And so when it comes to pieces of legislation that actually, for the people who are out there in charitable organisations or organisations that are doing good for our community, they may think that this is just one more hurdle to stop people donating. But I say to you that it is the contrary. That what this bill will do in creating accountability and transparency, it will sort the sheep from the goats. It will actually, those bona fide organisations that are worthy of support, Mr Chair, that are worthy of support.
I call the honourable member Jonathan Young.
That are, thank you, Mr Chair, that are worthy of support will submit themselves to the robustness of this regime. Now, we understand going through the Select Committee process that there is a lot of complexity around this. And we know that submitters came and said, look, it's actually going to turn people away from donations. It's going to make it too difficult. Other people said, no, actually, this is good. And so we realise that amongst this whole sector, the charitable organisation sector of our country, that this is an important point. In fact, the Consumer Institute in 2009 was pushing for this. And so there has been some thinking by different groups of people over the last few years. And so we realise there's some complexity to that. We, as a committee, in discussion with the proposer, the sponsor of the bill, Honourable Amy Adams, who is here this evening, we came to an agreement that by regulation, all the fine details can be worked out, so that in consultation with the sector, we can find a way to make this work so that it's win-win. And our intention is not to stymie or stifle the donated funds from the public into these organisations. Our intention is actually to improve the quality of the return of those donated funds. And so we, I believe, are going to see this as it progresses, I believe, and becomes law, and in due course regulations come out. We're going to find a robustness around our charitable organisations. We're going to find satisfaction amongst the donors in our country that they know that when they donate, it's going to reputable groups of people who are prepared to have accountability and transparency, who've got nothing that they are unprepared to come under the scrutiny of the government or the different Charities Commission, or as it might be, so that we see that there is going to be a very robust and significant community of people who are working not only with the donated funds, but amongst their own volunteer group, seeing these sorts of organisations prosper and continue to succeed. So, Mr Speaker, Mr Chair, it's my great pleasure to continue to support what I believe to be a very good piece of legislation. Thank you.
I call the honourable member Denise Roach.